Quick question. When is the last time that you genuinely felt proud of yourself? Yeah, when was the last time you felt proud of yourself? And then you saw somebody else's post and suddenly that feeling just evaporated. One scroll, that's all it took. I don't remember what commercial that was back in the day. Just one look, that's all it took. You went from confident to questioning in under 10 seconds. Now, here's the thing I want you all to sit with today. You didn't lose anything. You just let somebody else's highlight reel become your measuring stick. So what if you stopped measuring your chapter 2 against somebody else's chapter 20 and started honoring exactly where you are in your story? So that's what today is about. What's up, family? Welcome to MiNDSHiFT Monday, where we don't just talk about motivation, we talk about perspective. I'm Robert Kennedy III, RK3. That's me, and I'm so glad that y'all are here. Today's show is for the person who is doing the work, making progress, showing up, but still somehow feels behind. Yeah, it's for the leader who second guesses their wins because somebody else seems further ahead. For the builder who keeps checking the scoreboard when they should be in the game. This one is for you. We're closing out Confidence Month. Yes, we're gonna go out with truth that might set you free. Let's get into it. Hey, so glad that y'all are here. Dr. Renelli Williams, Danny Lewis. So glad that y'all are here in the space and the place. Looking at my face. If you want to know when we're going live, text live to 240-557-8679. After the show, the after show is live on Zoom. So if this episode hits you, come on, join us. Head on over to MiNDSHiftMonday.com/Zoom. All right. Lastly, listen, I want y'all to get in the habit of sharing what blesses you. So do me a favor right now, share this show with somebody. Text them and tell them, hey fam, you need to get on in here. You need this today. Yeah. All right. Well, listen, let's go. Who's in the place? Who's in the space? Mark Chambers, so glad that you're here. C. Marie B, so glad that you're here. Dr. Lorenda, good morning, ma'am. So glad that you all are here as well. Yes. Well, listen, y'all, it's time to get started. Comparison isn't just a distraction. It's a con. It convinces you that you're in a race that you never signed up for. It rewrites your story with somebody else's handwriting. Yeah, but here's the thing that I want to get to. The person that you're comparing yourself to, they might be comparing themselves to someone else. We're out here measuring ourselves against illusions, so let's talk about it today. Let's get into the show, MiNDSHiFT Monday. Come on, y'all. Here we go. Bam. Yeah. What's going on, people? What is going on? My guy, Anthony Montague. What's going on, my friend? Twyla Grigsby. So glad that y'all are here. Oh, before we jump any further this morning, let's check in. Drop one word in the chat right now. What word describes how you've been measuring yourself lately? What word describes how you've been measuring yourself lately? Is it behind? Is it stuck? Is it almost? Is it enough? Is it excellent? Is it awesome? Is it amazing? What's one word that describes how you've been measuring yourself lately? Come on, tell me. Let's see what we've got in the chat coming up. All right, let's see what y'all are working with. Behind. Okay, I see somebody put behind. Yeah, I get that. All right. Tired. I get that. I see that. Okay. One word that describes how you've been measuring yourself lately. Come on, y'all. Tell me. Tired. I see another tired. Yeah, I see an OMG. Okay. Yep. I see you. All right. Getting there. That's 2 words, Dr. Lorenda. Come on. Yeah. Oh my goodness. All right. Well, listen, y'all. The language that we use to describe where we are is telling us the story that we believe about ourselves. And if the story isn't working for you, today we're talking about shifting it. So let's shift it. Let's shift it. All right. Mark Chambers says ceiling. Wow. All right. All right. All right. I get that. I get that. Let's go. All right. Well, listen, y'all. I want to tell you consistency, says Anthony Montague. All right. Twila Grigsby says almost. Okay. All right. Let me put some of these on screen so y'all can know that I'm not making up what people are saying. Anthony Montague. All right. Twila Grigsby. Let's go. Ceiling, says Mark. And Dr. Lorenda being disobedient says getting there. All right. Good deal. Well, listen, y'all, let's jump on. I want to tell y'all about something that I might be a little bit embarrassed to admit. So a few years back, I was building, really building. The workshops were growing. The speaking engagements were coming. They weren't flowing fully yet, but they were coming. All right. Dr. O, so good to see you on Instagram. The workshops were growing. The podcasts were working. The speaking was picking up. And by every measure that really mattered to me, I was moving. I was moving forward. Yeah, I could have gotten a little bit more money at the time, but I was moving. I was moving forward. And then I went to the conference. Yes, I went to a conference and I watched somebody on stage. Same lane as me, same message, same type of work. And in about 40 minutes or so, they did more to shrink me than a year of setbacks ever had. Yeah. And not because they did anything wrong. They were doing what they were paid to do or what they applied to do. They were minding their own business. They didn't attack me. They didn't say anything that offended me. They didn't say anything that was meant to hurt me. They didn't throw any bricks, any arrows, any javelins or spears. They didn't do anything. They simply talked on stage about how much they made as a speaker. And then here's the thing that really hit me. They mentioned how old they were. Ooh-wee. Yeah. And somehow in my head, raise your hand if you've done this. Somehow in my head, I decided that they were the standard of how much I should have already accomplished. Yeah. See, here's what some of you may not know. I had not officially decided to be a speaker until after my 40th birthday. I hadn't decided to be a speaker. I mean, I'd done things. I was a teacher. I'd done some training, but I hadn't actually made the decision to start a professional speaking business until after my 40th birthday. And here were these people speaking, making millions doing so, talking to large audiences, building $1 million businesses in their late 20s and early 30s, talking to people that were twice their age, like they had just as much or more experience. And here I was just getting started. Yeah. And I kept on replaying the story in my brain. The one that said, here's the story that I kept replaying in my brain. The one that said, I should have been further along by now. And here's what I began to recognize. Last week, we talked about borrowing the belief of somebody else while you grow your own. It can work the other way. if you're not intentional. And here's what I began to do, and here's what I had done through my comparison. I had handed my confidence over to someone who didn't even know I existed. Oh my goodness. My people are in the comments right now just boosting me up and lifting me up and saying, giving me the advice. Monica Carreri is saying, your journey is your journey. Don't compare. Yeah. That is the message. It's not what I did. It's not what I did. And it's not what so many of us do. Here's the question that I want you to sit with. Who are you giving your measuring stick to? And did they even ask for it? Comparison, as Monica's saying, doesn't just distract you, it displaces you. It moves you out of your own story and plants you inside somebody else's. And here's what a lot of people do. Here's what a lot of people do. Man, here's what a lot of people do. You begin to scroll and you begin to compare. How many times have you scrolled? Admit it. I know some of us are trying to cover and say, nope, I got it all together. I'm tough. I'm great. But how many times have you scrolled and you saw somebody else on vacation? There's a friend of mine. Listen, I don't know how much money she has. I don't know how many kids she has. But every week I'm scrolling, or every week I look online and listen, she's on a cruise somewhere. She's with her girls somewhere, rolling and talking in some island and, doing the selfie pose, listen, every time. And I'm like, man, does this girl have a job? How many times have you scrolled and seen people living life a certain way, sharing a certain thing or doing a certain thing, and you've compared? Even if it's for just a second, you compare. And here's what happens. Every time you scroll and compare, you lose more of you. You become smaller and smaller and smaller. They have a term for this. It's called doom scrolling. You're scrolling, and every time you scroll, you compare yourself to somebody else and you feel worse and worse, and you still do it. You keep scrolling and you feel worse and you keep doing it and you keep looking for, All right, let me hit Regina Howard Norman's comment. She said, I haven't, I was, dang, that could be me, or I should be working towards something. Yes. But here's the thing. You can't run your race from somebody else's lane. You can't run your race from somebody else's lane. And here's where a lot of people get this wrong. And I've heard this. Some people think that comparison is a motivational tool. And we say things like, I just need to see what's possible, or it's healthy to have people to look up to. And look, inspiration is real. Seeing what is possible is valuable. But here's the line between inspiration and comparison. Inspiration says, if they can do it, so can I. Comparison says, they did it, I haven't. Or how come they get so lucky and I'm struggling? Yeah, right? Have you ever, and I'll say this from the speaker realm, have you ever been in a space where you have experience in your field? You've been working hard at something, and then you see somebody in a room speaking or doing something, and they're getting accolades and they're getting money, and that they're not even half as skilled as you. And you're like, oh my gosh, what on earth? I have been in rooms, yes, vulnerable, admitting it. Yes, I'm telling you, I'm opening it up and telling you my stuff. I have been in rooms where I've seen speakers speaking, knowing what they got paid to be there. And I knew without a shadow of a doubt that they weren't as skilled as I was. Yeah, I've had those moments, right? And so in those moments, you're kind of like, what on earth am I doing wrong? Why am I struggling? And they seem to be able to get to this thing so easy, and they're not as good as I am. Or the flip side, my gosh, they're so good, and I'm younger than them, or I'm older than them, and they got to this thing before I did. What's wrong with me? Inspiration is fuel. Comparison is a leak. One pulls you forward and the other pulls you under. Right? And here's the thing, that they look almost identical from the outside. You're scrolling and you see somebody else's win and your brain sorts it. Your brain sorts it one of two ways. Your brain says, there's evidence that you can, or it's evidence that you haven't. And what makes the difference? Well, what makes the difference is repetition and practice. Right? The difference isn't in what you see. The difference is in the story that you decide to tell yourself about yourself in that moment. Brené Brown has this book called The Gifts of Imperfection, and she makes a distinction that I think about. She talks about the difference between fitting in and belonging. Fitting in says, I need to be like them in order to be worthy. You get into a new environment, you get into a new space, and yeah, maybe as grown-ups, we don't always do it this way, but as kids, entering new spaces, we try to fit in. And so we start to find the brands. We want to wear the brands that everybody else is wearing or talking about. We want to wear the clothes, we want to wear the makeup. You know, that's how we do it as kids. But then as grown-ups, we want to get the house that like other people have. We want to get the car. We want everybody in my neighborhood's getting an EV. They're getting a Tesla. They're getting a Lucid. They're getting a Rivian. And so we try to fit in. Fitting in says, I need to be like them to be worthy. Belonging says, I show up as I am. And that's enough. I belong. I deserve to be here. And Brené Brown says, you can't fit in and belong at the same time. They are oppositional. They're oppositional. When we compare ourselves to others, we're trying to fit in, to measure up, and to earn our place at the table by matching somebody else's blueprint. But belonging, real grounded confidence, starts with owning your own story. And owning your story, here's what Brené Brown says. She says, owning our story is the bravest thing that we'll ever do. Why? Well, because we know all of the ups, the downs, the twists, the turns, the failures, the caveats, the crevices, the nooks, the crannies. We know it and we see it. And so when we can look at it and see it and own it, that is the most courageous thing that we can ever do. Brené Brown, The Gift of Imperfection. Read that. Read it again. If you've read it before, read it again. Not perfecting your story, not editing your story, not giving us the highlight reel of your story. Owning your story with the detours, the restarts, the seasons that didn't go the way you planned. That is where the confidence lives. Not in the comparison, but in the ownership. Staying true to your own standard, your own pace, your own story. This means that you've stopped letting outside noise set your internal thermostat, right? Unchecked comparison. I make this comparison, or I make this analogy about comparison. It's like sitting behind the steering wheel of a car and letting everybody else tell you your destination. And part of why we compare is because we struggle to see ourselves as worth it, worthy, equal, and we don't celebrate our own successes enough. And because we don't celebrate ourselves and our successes enough, we struggle to celebrate the successes of others. And so instead of celebrating that they got there or had that experience, we compare. And so if we think about our old belief, our old belief, and this MiNDSHiFT Monday is about shedding. It's about shedding old beliefs, right? So our old belief is my progress only counts if it measures up to someone else's. Okay, let's install the new belief. My progress counts because it's mine. It's my standard. It's my lane. It's my pace. You're not running a race against anyone else. You're building something that only you can build in a way that only you can build it. God gave you the talent and the gift that only you can use in the way that you can use it. Nobody else has your exact combination of experience, perspective, wounds, wisdom. And the moment that you start comparing yourself to somebody else, you're comparing yourself to a blueprint that was never meant for you. Stay in your own lane, not because you can't be better, or not because you can't grow, or not because you can't do more, but because your lane is where your momentum lives. You got to choose to own your story. Choose to grow from where you are, whatever age you are. Let's jump to our actions for the day. We're winding down. We got just a little bit of time left. But listen, y'all, I want to invite you to join me in the after show. Head on over to MiNDSHiftMonday.com/Zoom in just about 5 minutes. Our actions for transformation. So here are this week's experiments, this week's actions. 3 nudges to get you out of the comparison spiral and back into your own story. So action number 1, I want you to notice when. When does comparison hit you hardest? Notice. And for those of you that are saying, nope, I never compare myself. Yeah, okay, maybe you might be further along in the journey than somebody else, but we struggle with this, right? I struggle with this. When does comparison hit you hardest? Social media, certain conversations, specific times of the day. And here's why I want you to identify this. Here's why I want you to notice when this has happened, because you can't interrupt a pattern that you haven't identified. Just notice it. Just notice it. When does comparison hit you hardest? Okay, number 2. Call out or name the belief. What belief is underneath it? And usually it's one of 3 things. It's I'm not doing good enough, I'm not good enough, or I'm not doing enough, I'm not good enough, or I'm running out of time. I'll tell y'all, for me, I'm running out of time is the one that I've struggled, still walk through. Yeah, you look in the mirror and you see a couple of these, oh my gosh, okay, I'm running out of time. But that person is 30 and they've done that. What is the belief? Okay? And when you can call out belief and when you can name it, it no longer lives in the dark. The fact that I'm saying it out loud to you, what I struggled and struggle with. A named fear is a shrinking fear. The more that you can call it out is the less power that it has. All right, so I want you to call out that belief. Your third thing, Your third action of transformation this week is to catalog a win. Write down one win from this week, not somebody else's week, your week. Write down 1 week. What is a conversation that landed? What is a commitment that you kept? What is something that you tried and overcame? Own it. That is evidence. Stack it. I was talking last week at the Joseph Business School in Chicago, and in my talk, I talked about reminding yourself of victory. What are some things that you've overcome? And they may not be these big things, but you learned how to walk, you learned how to talk, you learned how to pass a test, you learned how to drive a car, you learned how to ride a bicycle, you learned, so you have conquered many things. Remind yourself of victory. And so this week, I want you to catalog a win. And here's a bonus action. Here's a bonus that I want you to implement. Next time that you see somebody else winning, I want you to say out loud, wow, I'm so grateful that they get to experience that. That's amazing. The more that we can celebrate ourselves and the more that we can celebrate what others are doing is the more that we defeat comparison. Because I'm not comparing myself to them. I'm celebrating them. The more that you learn how to celebrate you, the easier it becomes for you to celebrate others. Next time you see somebody else experiencing something, oh my gosh, I'm so grateful that they got to take that cruise. I'm glad for them. I'm so grateful that they got that new car. I'm so grateful that they got that new boyfriend, girlfriend, that new house. I'm grateful that they got married. I'm so glad that they get to experience that. And the more that you can celebrate you, find your wins, celebrate your wins, the more that you can celebrate you is the easier it becomes for you to celebrate others as well. Hey, y'all, listen, if this episode landed for you, I want to invite you to the after show, right? This is where we go slow. We slow it down just a little bit. Where you ask the questions that you're thinking about, where the community shows up and we process this together. So come on to the MiNDSHiFT Monday after show, the level up, mindshiftmonday.com/Zoom. Okay. Not just a show you show that you watch. It's a practice that you build. So we want to make sure that you get a chance to do this and process this and download this. Hey, y'all, listen, as we close this month of confidence, I want to leave you with this. Confidence is not the absence of doubt. It's the decision to trust your story more than you trust the comparison. Every time you scroll past somebody else's win, choose your own lane anyway. That's courage. Every time you measure yourself by your own growth instead of somebody else's arrival, that is a mind shift. And you don't need to win somebody else's race. You need to run yours. Hey, y'all, until next time, stay curious, stay grounded, and keep shifting your mindset so that you can shift your life. Hey, y'all, Dr. Lorenda, Mark Chambers, so glad that you all are here. David Hunt, so good to see you. C. Marie B. Judy Schneidman, so glad that y'all are here. Dr. Orinthia Harris, glad that y'all are here this morning. See y'all on the after show. Peace.